Welcome everyone. Very quick video update on the Uncapped Demon Form build. It's been very widely requested and people keep asking me for a fire variant using Fireball. I wasn't planning on doing this for a couple of days, but I thought I'd just slap something together. Take everything you see in this quick video with a grain of salt. It really was put together in about an hour, but it also highlights how easy it is to just swap in any skill into this setup. As you can see, I am pretty much just using Fireball completely by itself. Fireball self-cast, Fireball in my Spell Slinger, Fireball in my cast on crit. The only supplementary ability I'm using for rares, and especially once we come up to Zesht, is Frost Wall. It just really amplifies the damage. Before I jump into the details and what exactly I swapped out, my initial opinion, maybe it's because I haven't really optimized this or thought it through all too deeply, but on mapping, it seems a little bit clunkier than the lightning and cold variants. But, you know, I guess it all comes down to personal preference. It's passed the max Zesh test, as typically is demonstrated for most builds. I'll quickly jump ahead. Actually, I'm leading up to it pretty quickly here. I managed to maintain my Demon Form stacks, so you can see I've got about 160 odd Demon Form stacks here, and with Frost Wall, Zesh still actually dies pretty quickly. You know, what's that? A little bit slower than the lightning and the cold variants, like I said, but obviously still works. So what exactly did I change? And apologies for anyone that's new. If you are new, I will leave a link to my previous video, which really dove deep into how this build works. It is basically a uncapped demon form build using Sacrosanctum, relying on life recoup. That's all I'll touch upon. I would really want to keep this as an update video highlighting the fire variant for the people that have been following along and highly requesting this. So in terms of the passive tree, and this is something I have deliberately done, I actually wanted to keep minimum amount of adjustments so I could jump between different spell combinations I've been playing around with, and also again to highlight the flexibility of the setup. All I have done for the fire setup is remove the 3 frost nodes that I was using here before. I didn't actually realize I had some spare points on my weapon swap as well, and I could pick up this whole cluster here for extra chance of projectiles, which works obviously very well with Fireball. So it by default fires 1 projectile, so the more chance you have to fire more projectiles, the more multiplicative damage effectively you do, more AoE spread, and it just looks cool, you know. Oh, well, there we go. Just spam away. Yeah, works well, especially once you start proccing the wild shards and all the casts and crits when they fire off as well. It's just nice visual effect. And for those that enjoy the purple flame, I did leave a point spare to spec into it. Actually, if you're using Control Metamorphosis, it actually works really well as well because you don't have to actually even travel to it. The only thing I will caution, if you are using this kind of standard passive tree setup that I have, all of these elemental damage nodes, I suspect, I think I tested, you do actually lose a bit of damage. So if you wanted to go for the purple flame, I would unspec all of this elemental damage and potentially put into chaos damage. I think there's some chaos damage here. You could potentially make your way through to spaghettification, potentially have enough points of that, or you could put it into crit elsewhere. You could path down here and get these life recoups for a bit more of a defensive option, another dual socket. So there's a few options there for what you could do with these points, but with the purple fire, you know, looks even cooler. So that's it in terms of the passive tree. Gear, what changed? Literally the only thing I swapped out was the wand for a fire spell wand. Again, cast speed, crit hit on it. Chance for extra projectiles on the socket is ideal for Fireball, I would say. And that's it in terms of gear. literally just the one. I'll typically swap out the rings as well, away from the cold damage rings that I was carrying on from my cold setup. So lacking a bit of damage there, but that's about it. So in terms of skills, as I said, there's a few remnants of the cold setup here, but I'll try and focus on everything. So Fireball, self-casting, Wild Shards to get the AoE effect, the extra projectiles surrounding you. Unleash for the cost multiplier to proc our Infernal Flame quickly, and also as you're kind of jumping around and dodging through maps, that Unleash does build up, so it gives you a nice big burst when you first crash into a pack. Pinpoint critical, since we're running Maligaros, and in general the base crit on fire spells is the lowest out of all the elements, so pinpoint critical does help out a lot with that. So for comparison, I believe Frostbolt was running at about 92%. This is almost half of that. Projectile acceleration, I just find it's really nice for mapping, getting the fireballs flying away from you a lot quicker. You get a little bit of extra damage as well. Good cost multiplier. And fork, so every time it hits something, it forks off and you get more projectiles. Works very, very well with Fireball. Then on our Spell Slinger, again, Fireball. The two, more energy, pinpoint critical again. This is the lineage Wild Shards equivalent. I prefer to have it on the Spell Slinger because the stacks build up a little bit better, because this doesn't cast quite as often as your self-cast. Cast on critical, once again Fireball. As I've mentioned in previous videos, ignore this gem. It's very much aspirational. It's a very expensive gem. You could run whatever you want else in this slot and typically run Elemental Weakness for bosses. Pinpoint critical again, and more energy, just to have this proccing as much as possible, because the crit is a bit less on fire, so the two energy gems help on the cast and critical. And that's it. Short and sweet. Just wanted to highlight it. I am not a Fireball expert, fire spells expert by any means, so I just wanted to put at least something together and prove and show people and give an idea of what you can do and that it actually works. So hope you enjoy, like, subscribe as usual, and all the best. And as always, thank you for all the feedback, comments, help from some people as well. Some good suggestions, so it's been really fruitful. Thank you. Actually, just quickly, I'll leave you guys with an actual map demo as well, so you have an idea of what that looks like.
After the spirit. The spirit's picked it. Don't lose focus. You're no slouch. That were a wisp.